cuisine has evolved through centuries of social and political changes, originating from ancient agricultural and nomadic traditions in Korean Peninsula and southern Manchuria. Korean cuisine has evolved through a complex interaction and natural environment. Korean cuisine is largely based on rice, vegetables, and meats. Traditional Korean meals are noted for the number of side dishes, which is banchan, that accompany steamed cooked short grain and rice. The Three Kingdoms period 57 BCE to 668 CE was one of the rapid cultural evolution. The Kingdom of Goguryeo 37 BCE to 668 CE was located in the northern part of the peninsula, along much of modern-day Manchuria. The country remained in a state of turmoil through the Korean War 1950 to 1953, the Cold War, which separated the country into North Korea and South Korea. Both of these periods continued the limited food provision for Koreans. The Second Kingdom Baekje 18 BCE to 660 CE was in the southwestern portion of the peninsula, and the Third Silla 57 BCE to 935 CE was located in the southeastern portion of the peninsula. Each region had its own distinct set of cultural practices and foods. Japan colonized Korean Peninsula from 1910 to 1945. Many of the agricultural systems were taken over by the Japanese to support Japan's food supply. Land changes resulting from the Japanese occupation included combining small farms into large-scale farms, which led to larger yields. Grains have been one of the most important staples of the Korean diet. During the pre-modern era, grains such as barley and millet were the main staple and were supplemented by wheat and sorghum and buckwheat. Rice is not an indigenous crop to Korea, and millet was likely the preferred grain before which was cultivated. Rice became the grain of choice during the Three Kingdoms period, particularly in the Silla and Baekje Kingdom in the southern region of the peninsula. Rice was such an important commodity in Silla that it was used to pay taxes. As rice was prohibitively expensive when the first came to Korea, the grain was likely mixed with other grains to stretch the rice. This is still done in dishes such as asbor ribap, rice with barley, and kongbap, rice with beans. Legumes have been significant crops in Korean history and cuisine. According to earliest preserved legumes found in archaeological sites in Korea, they are made into tofu or dubu, while soybean sprouts are suited as a vegetable, kong namul, and whole soybeans are seasoned and served as a side dish. They are also made into soy milk, which is used as the base for the noodle dish called kongguksu. Condiment seasoning. Condiments are divided into fermented and non-fermented variants. Fermented condiments include doenjang, doenjang, gochujang, and vinegar. Non-fermented condiments or spices include red pepper, black pepper, cordifolia, mustard, garlic, onion, singer, leek, and scallion spring onion. We have meat in Korean. It includes beef, chicken, and pork. We have fish and seafood.
Fish and shellfish have been a major part of Korean cuisine. Because of the ocean bordering the peninsula, evidence from the 12th century illustrate commoners consume a diet mostly of fish and shellfish, such as shrimp, clams, oysters, abalone, and loach, while sheep and hogs were reserved for the upper class. Both fresh and saltwater fish are popular. and are served raw, grilled, broiled, dried, or served in soup and stews. Smaller fish, shrimp, squid, mollusks, and countless other seafoods can be salted and fermented. Fish is often dried naturally to prolong storing period and enable shipping over long distances.
Korean cuisine was used in variety of vegetables which are often served uncooked either in salads or pickles, as well as cooked in various stews, stir-fried dishes, and other hot dishes. Kimchi refers to often fermented vegetable dishes, usually made with napa cabbage, Korean radish, or sometimes cucumber, commonly fermented in a brine of ginger, garlic, scallion, and chili pepper.
Noodles or noodle dishes in Korean cuisine are collectively referred to as guksu in native Korean or amyeon in Honja. While noodles were eaten in Korea from ancient times, production of wheat were less than other crops, so wheat noodles did not become a daily food until 1945. Wheat noodles or milguksu were specialty foods for birthdays, wedding, or auspicious occasions because the long and continued shape were thought to be associated with the bliss for longevity and long-lasting marriage. In Korean, traditional noodles dishes are amyeon or guksu jangguk, noodles with a hot, clear broth. Naengmyeon, cold buckwheat noodles. Bibimbap or cold noodle dish mixed with vegetables. Kalguksu or knife-cut noodles. Kongguksu, noodles with a cold soybean broth.
Banchan is a term referring collectively to side dishes in Korean cuisine. Soup and stew are not considered banchan. Jimanson are generic terms referring to steam-boiled dish in Korean cuisine. However, the former is made with meat, seafood-based ingredients marinated in gochujang or ganjang, while son made with vegetable stuffed with fillings.
3 are some characteristics of Korean cuisine. Banchan with every meal. One unique quality of Korean cuisine is the inclusion of banchan with most meal. Banchan essentially means side dish, and many authentic Korean restaurants serve them alongside each entry. Heavy spice and flavored. Many Korean dishes are quite spicy, but even though that aren't hot, are still highly flavored. Cooking at the table. Most Korean cuisine is served family style, and Korean barbecue is no exception.
10 traditional Korean foods. Kimchi. Kimchi is often described as a superfood because it is naturally fermented and produces beneficial probiotics that aids in digestion. Kimchi is probably the most recognizable traditional Korean food in the world. Napa cabbage is more commonly used for kimchi, although various vegetables can be fermented to make kimchi too. There are numerous ways to prepare kimchi based on flavoring elements during the fermentation process that can range from radish to curry pepper to ginger. It dates back to the three kingdoms of Korean that ruled from 37 BC to 780. Bulgogi. Bulgogi is one of the more popular Korean food dishes. This dish consists of tiny sliced meat strips that are marinated to have a sweet or spicy smoky flavor. Bulgogi is prepared with either pork or beef, and it is generally grilled but also is prepared by roasting, broiling, or in stir-fry manner. Bulgogi is believed to have been part of the Korean diet since Goguryeo period from BC 37 and was called Nyobyani during the Joseon dynasty. Haijangguk, a hangover stew, is a delightful cure for the morning after drinking soju. The hearty soup is generally derived from beef broth that includes dried napa cabbage as well as other vegetables. Around the country, there are 3 main types of haijangguk that include an ox bone broth, another with sliced squid, served cold, and the third is prepared with a raw egg. The soup dates back to the Goryeo dynasty beginning in 918 AD. Samgyeopsal. Samgyeopsal, also known as pork belly, is a typical Korean food that is grilled before eating. Traditional samgyeopsal is not marinated or seasoned before cooking, but in recent years, Koreans have been marinating the meat with slices of garlic, onion, and green pepper. It's then wrapped in lettuce or sesame leaf with dipping sauces and accompaniments such as button mushroom, green chili peppers, green onions, raw onions, and garlic, as well as kimchi. Bibimbap. Bibimbap is Korean food dish that includes a variety of vegetables, meat, and kimchi, and is topped with a sunny side up egg. Served in a bowl, bibimbap has an abundance of flavors depending on what vegetables and meats are used during the cooking process. Originally known as goldongban during the Joseon dynasty, this Thai Korean food was renamed in the 20th century. This traditional dish is most eaten on the eve of the Lunar New Year for most Koreans. Samyetang. Samyetang is a chicken and ganchung soup is packaged with flavor from garlic to sweet rice. Samgyetang is a staple during the hot summer season when eating hot soup is believed to help your stamina and health. It is also called ginseng chicken soup. Japchae. Japchae, also known as glass noodles, are transparent noodles made from sweet potatoes. This dish can also be eaten as a banchan side dish and are stir-fried with a variety of vegetables and meat. The sweet, gingery flavor of japchae makes this a most eat when you are in Korea. Jajangmyeon. A Korean-Chinese fusion dish, jajangmyeon uses thick handmade wet noodles topped with raw cucumber slices and a mixture of salty black soybean paste, diced pork, and vegetables. It is also usually eaten by single on Black Day, which takes place each year on April 14. Those people who do not receive gifts during Valentine's Day wear black attire and gather to consume black-colored food such as jajangmyeon. Jjigae. There are many different varieties of jjigae and so, but this Korean stew usually contains meat, seafood, or vegetable in a broth seasoned with hot pepper paste, gochujang, fermented mesojang, soybean paste, or salted fermented shrimp. Shoju usually serve as a palate cleanser between heavier dishes. JJ has a similar consistency to a western stew. Obakjuk. This Korean porridge dish is made from pumpkin and rice cake balls made from glutinous rice. Ubakjuk is sweet and full of nourishment, and like chicken soup, it is often served to the people recovering from sickness. The preparation of ubakjuk is simple, and some people will add red or black beans to the savory broth.
Merienda. Merienda is taken from the Spanish and is a light meal or snack, especially in the afternoon. Similar to the concept of afternoon tea, the Filipino have a number of options to take with kape, which is the Filipino pronunciation of kale or coffee. Breads and pastries like pandesal, ensaymada, or buttery brioche covered in grated cheese and sugar. Hopis, or pastries similar to the two-moon cakes filled with mung bean paste, and ensaymada or savory meat-filled pastries.
Popular Filipino foods. First, adobo. It's the Filipino dish everybody knows, the mighty adobo. It is made by stewing meat, usually chicken, pork, or a combination of both, in soy sauce and vinegar, adding peppercorns and bay leaves for that special flavor. Second, kare-kare. This rich stew is made with peanut sauce and customarily oxtail, but other meater cuts of beef can also be added in. Many Filipinos will consider kare-kare incomplete without a serving of bagong or a fermented seafood paste on the side. Third, lechon. Lechon is one of the top contenders among the best Filipino dishes, alongside adobo. Is perhaps the famous lechon. After all, it is hard to top a tasty, fully roasted pig with perfectly crisp skin and juicy meat. Find the best of the simple treat on the island of Cebu, but this is almost always served at any grand Pinoy gathering or fiesta. Fourth, sinigang. Sinigang is Pinoy classic, a delicious sour fruit usually made tangy by tamarind, sometimes kamiyas. It's filled with different vegetables and the meat of choice. Popular variants include sinigang na baboy, pork, sinigang na hipon or shrimp, and sinigang na isda. Crispy pata. It's a dish that takes the entire pig leg and deep fries to perfection. Crispy pata. It's a dish that takes the entire pig leg and deep fries to perfection. Serve with a soy vinegar dipping sauce on the side with some chopped up garlic and chili. Sisig. Sisig served sizzling on a hot stone plate. Sisig is a favorite pulutan beer chow among Filipinos. The meat is primarily chopped up parts of the pig's face in the Philippines. No cut of the animal goes to waste. Some recipes use either mayonnaise or raw eggs to be mixed in while hot to give in a creamier text, but the classic way to incorporate pig's brain into the dish. 7. Bolalo. The perfect company of a cool rainy day in the Philippines is a nice hot bowl of bulalo. This tasty soup is made by slow cooking beef chunks and bone marrow, still in the bone, in some water with fish sauce, onions, and peppercorn, and later adding in some vegetables. Especially known for the dish is the province of Batangas, in the country's southern Luzon region. Silog. A hearty Filipino breakfast typically consists of meat sinigang, garlic fried rice, and itlog. Each dish name varies slightly depending on the meat that goes with the rice and egg. So for example, a plate of tinapa, curd beef sinigang and itlog is called tapsilog. A plate including tocino, sweet pork instead of tapa is called tusilog, while one that uses longanisa, sausilog, is known as long silog. These generous breakfast serving are a great way to kickstart the day. 9. Dinuguan. Another Filipino stew, albeit a more eccentric one, is the tented dinuguan. It's made by cooking pork and innards in pig's blood and vinegar. It's often eaten with puto, a slightly sweet steamed rice cake, which complements its savory state. 10. Kilawin. Kilawin, also called kinilaw, is the Filipino savory-rich seafood is often used, such as tuna, tanege, which is then cured in vinegar and calamansi. Onions are usually added in, as well as some chili for a more complex blend of flavors. Kilawin is normally served as an appetizer or as pulutan beer chow when drinking. Lastly, halo-halo. Halo-halo is Filipino for mix, and it mixes up several sweet treats along with its shaved ice, bananas, and syrup. Chewy, sweet, jackfruit, mung beans, purple yam, among others, and other, but not always topped with a scoop of ice cream.